Anthony Hartwig here with a Howland girls basketball player profile. I am joined by Alyssa Massucci. Alyssa, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
And man, when we watched you on this team, one thing that we know really fast is you have taken another step of leadership on this team this year. Obviously, you guys lost a big senior class last year. First question is, what's it been like to kind of take a next step in leadership on this team and really be someone that all the players can kind of look up to and follow?
It's for sure been different. We graduated four seniors that started last year, and they had great leadership. And I would just say that I was put into the position where I had to be one of the leaders on this team. And it's important that I fill that role and help my team win games.
Obviously, it wasn't any surprise that you were going to be one of those people with, you knew they were seniors, you knew it was going to happen. So what kind of things did you do to kind of prepare yourself for stepping up in the leadership role this year?
Just being more positive with my teammates and making sure that we're all on the same page and we all work together as a team.
How much did last year's seniors really teach you about leadership and help you become the leader that you are now?
They've taught me a lot, and I really looked up to them, and that's how I want the freshmen and sophomores this year to look up to us as juniors.
Now, as far as the stats go, you've always been a statistical leader on this team. Scoring has never been a problem. What do you think has worked so well for you in this program and being able to put up the numbers that you're able to put up?
Just being more confident in myself, like the seniors last year, they gave me a lot of confidence going into this year, and just how great of teammates that I have.
How much have you seen the confidence of your teammates kind of grow this year? I know there's a lot of new faces on this varsity team, a lot of players in new roles. How much have you seen their confidence grow with yours?
They've grown a lot, and I feel like we just work so good as a team, and that's going to help us finish this year and off to next year.
And you've been around so long, and people forget that you're not even a senior yet. You're only a junior class of 24. What kind of things are you continuing to work on as you head into your high school career, and you know that you have another year to get better? What kind of things were on your checklist this year of things that you want to get better at?
I'd say just getting better each and every game. My dad is always telling me, no matter what the game, like if we won or we lost, we there's always something you can improve on.
Your dad is not the only part of your family that you can lean on because you have a great athletic family. What's that been like growing up with athletes in the household and being able to lean on your brother and the other members of your family to kind of guide you in your athletic career?
Both of my brothers, my parents, they've all taught me a lot just to really step into the role of becoming an athlete, and they always push me to become a better player in person, and that's how I got myself today, just becoming a better person and player every day.
Okay, so we've talked about your personal goals that you've had for yourself this year. What about some team goals that this team has set? I know we're about the halfway mark, and a lot of things can really propel you guys forward into February. What were some team goals that you guys have this year?
Our team goals is to just get better each and every game, to push each other at practice, and to go as far as we can into the tournament.
And you're led by a really highly respected coach and Coach Pounds. I mean, what's that been like to be under him for the last couple of years? What has he taught you, not just about basketball, but as your about yourself?
He's very positive with us, and he's always pushing us at practice to be better basketball players, and not even just basketball players. Off the court, he's always telling us to keep our grades up and to push ourselves. One day when we get into the workforce, we're going to have to work as a team, and that's how in basketball we work as a team as well.
Let's talk about those grades. You're a student athlete. We talked about the athlete. Let's talk about the student. What are some of your favorite subjects that you have in school?
I honestly like all subjects at school. I take CCP classes as well, so always busy.
Always busy. You're also a three sport athlete. You fall, winter, and spring. What's that like managing everything and always keeping yourself busy and mentally transitioning from one sport to the next?
I just always like being busy, and I just like to go from sport to sport, and it just keeps me busy.
Is basketball the go-to? Is it your favorite sport?
I'd have to say softball is probably my favorite sport, but I really love basketball and I enjoy playing volleyball as well.
All right, so all three of those sports, what's the best feeling? Is it a kill? Is it a 3-point shot, maybe, or maybe a home run, or maybe a big out? What do you think of the best feeling in your three sports is?
I'd say for softball, definitely a grand slam. I hit one this past summer and it was really fun, and I'd say just hitting like a three-pointer, just doing anything for my team to get the win.
You guys get so much support in Howland. What's that like to know that the community always has your back and you're always going to get really good fan support at your games?
It means a lot just the support we have at Howland, just knowing that people will be at the games and they'll be cheering for us.
Okay, now you've had a lot of big moments in your athletic career. What do you think the loudest you've ever made a crowd is?
I have to say, like, just like the AAC games, those games are always good competition and they're coached well and there's great players on those teams. And I feel like those games are always fun to play.
Do you have a favorite athletic memory so far that you've built up in your career?
I would say probably the playing at the Cavs arena last month. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it with my teammates, and I'll never forget that moment.
When you think about memories that you make with your teams off the floor, I know every team has their own team bonding exercises that they do. What are some of your favorite team bonding exercises that you're able to do with the Tigers?
We actually did a lock in for basketball. We spent the night in the gym on air mattresses, and it was just a really fun experience. And it was a really good bonding for our team.
We've talked about the new faces a lot already. Who are some players that you've really got to know pretty well this year that are kind of new to the program or new to the varsity role?
I'd say we have a really good bond with the juniors, but also the sophomores, Sophia, Riley, and Emily, they've really stepped into the roles because we are still a young team. We don't have any seniors, so just them stepping in is great, and the juniors as well. We're very close and we really have a good bond.
Not a lot of teams get to go through a year with no seniors. So what's it like knowing that everyone on this team is coming back next year and everything that you go through this year is going to kind of be a building block to what you can do next year as well?
It's really nice just to know that these are all just building blocks for next year. Like, we want to get better each game, but we know that next year it's going to be our year.
Do you think that takes any pressure off of this season? I know, like a lot of teams, if they have a lot of seniors or if they have really talented seniors, there's almost a little bit of a pressure to win for them. Obviously, everyone wants to win, but there's not that like pressure of a finality in your team. There's no seniors that you have to kind of give a last hurrah to.
We still really want to finish the season off strong and we want to get as far as we can in the tournament. But just knowing that everyone will be back next year, it's just a good feeling.
All right, so obviously, youth programs are important to the Tigers as well. I know you guys do a lot with the 7th and 8th grade team and even the younger players in your program. What kind of things do you guys do to make sure that the program is going to be solidified and keep growing in the next years with the youth players?
We have little kid camps, and it's always important that we go to them just because the little kids, they look up to us.
With all the success that you have to have some of those little girls that look up to you. What's that like to know that you're a role model and know that maybe a fifth grader is watching you play right now saying, I want to be like Alyssa Massucci when I get onto the high school scene?
It feels great just knowing that they can look up to us and just knowing that that's going to be them one day.
Do you ever have one of those moments that like it's a reality that you are looked up to and you do have to carry yourself as if people are watching you?
Yes, I just try to lead by example and play as hard as I can all the time.
All right. Biggest change in your game. What do you think is the biggest change from freshman Alyssa to now?
I would say just confidence, just being more vocal. I'm not the most vocal person on the court, but I try to lead by example and just push myself to get better every day.
All right, here's another question for you because we know that athletes' numbers are important to them. Are there any particular reason you've chosen the number that you wear, or is it just kind of luck of the draw?
My brothers used to be number 4 when they were younger, and I kind of just stuck with it. They changed their numbers in high school, but I just stuck with the number 4, and I'm also a 4 for softball and volleyball, so just kind of stuck with it.
Keeping that tradition alive. I like it. What do you think the best advice your brothers have given you? We talked about how much they've helped you grow. If you had to pinpoint one piece of advice that one of them have given you over your career, what do you think the best one they've given you is?
I would say just to always push yourself to become better. And my oldest brother, Michael, he's always pushing me in the gym. I started lifting with him 8th grade year during the summer. And my brother Anthony, he's always pushing me as well. Just each and every game, I sit down and talk to them, whether it's on the phone because they're at college, and just think of something that I can do better to improve for the next game.
As motivational as they are, I know there's got to be some family competition going on. That the way too competitive to not be having some competition. What do you think is one thing that you could beat your brothers at?
I think I could beat them in ping pong. We have a ping pong in the basement, and I always beat my brothers in it.
Awesome. That's it. What is one thing that you've tried to beat them at, but it's just not happening yet?
1-1 in basketball, just outside. It's always a competition, but next year.
Next year. What is your favorite thing about being an athlete at Howland and being able to represent those colors and wear tigers across your chest?
It just means a lot being at Howland. Just the support system, the teachers always come out to the games, my friends come out to the games, family. It's just great.
All right, before we let you go, I'm going to hit you with some rapid fire questions. Try to get to know you a little bit off the court. First question is, what is your favorite post game meal?
I would say B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings.
All right, what about like pregame? What's the pregame meal?
My dad usually either gets me like Chick-fil-A or something small before each game.
We know that athletes like to eat healthy, but you got to have a little bit of a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
What's the go-to dessert?
Probably cake or ice cream.
Do you have any athletic superstitions, especially in softball?
Not really, just giving my all each game.
No, no routines you have to stick to?
Not really.
All right.
Just playing hard.
That's
I don't have
awesome too.
my level, it just stays the same. I just play hard each game.
What about the playlist? What's your pump up playlist like before a game?
I like the song Can't Hold Us, but I honestly have a variety of songs I like. I can listen to anything and get pumped up.
Or do you have any guilty pleasure songs that are on your playlist that maybe not be the coolest, but you still rock to
them? Not really. I mean, outside of basketball, I like listening to Morgan Wallen. Mm-hmm. But
what was the last concert that you attended?
I actually have not been to a concert before.
Okay, so if you had to pick like the first concert that you can go to, what would your first concert want to be?
Morgan Wallen.
There you go. Okay. When you think about some of your favorite things to do when you're not playing sports, which doesn't happen too often, what are some of your favorite hobbies outside of athletics?
I really enjoy lifting with my brothers and just hanging out with my family and friends.
All right, junior years when you start to think about the future as well. So what are some career paths that you kind of see yourself going into?
I can see myself going into childhood education because my mom's a kindergarten teacher. So I feel like that might suit me well. And also maybe physical education and even maybe coaching one day.
I was going to ask, do you have the coaching gene? Can you see yourself as a coach one day?
I can.
What kind of coaching style do you think Coach Alyssa Massucci would have?
Just pushing my players to become just to push them to their full potential.
Who are some of your favorite teams to watch nationally?
The Cavaliers.
What's your favorite sport to watch? We've already talked about softball being your favorite sport to play. What's your favorite sport to go in and be a fan of?
I would say basketball or softball. I really enjoy watching them.
All right, Alyssa, before we let you go, I want to give you the chance to kind of thank your support system and all the people that have been there for you through the years.
I want to say thank you to my mom and dad. My dad's always pushing me to become the best player that I can be, and my mom is always there for me. Both of my brothers for pushing me to become the player that I can be, and my grandpa, both of my grandpas, my Papa Ron, he's always keeping stats for me each and every game. My Papa Joe, he's always at all the games. And definitely my coaches and my teammates and my friends and my Aunt Renee she's always taking pictures at each game, and all of them have made me the person and player I am today.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We wish you the best of luck, and
Thank
we
you.
look forward to continuing covering you. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
You got it.